Hi guys, and of course, welcome to the premiere issue here of our first podcast, Mark Ray Good Vibes. And just so you know, for all your audience who are actually watching us, the actual name just is as organic, right?
Yes.
As the show is. We kind of wanted to share with our fans, and we do have fans, of course. I'm in the marketing business, Mark is in entertainment. And we have our beautiful guest here in set. She's into fitness and all that relationship advice stuff. So we wanted to have a conversation here with you. And this is going to be a weekly podcast, by the way. And Good Vibes, it's really one of those podcasts. It's about us as men just hanging out with our friends and talking about relevant issues around Caribbean American lifestyle, culture, entertainment. And of course, we want you to join us. So if you feel like you have something you want to say to us, send us an email. The email is markraygoodvibes@gmail.com. You can go to Instagram. You can hook us up there, and you can like us out and like our stuff. And you can go to YouTube as well. Do the same thing as YouTube, right? Mark Ray Good Vibes. Yeah. And so today we have a list of things we want to talk about. But Mark.
Yeah, first we want to introduce our special guest. We have Tiesha. Tiesha is a specialist in marketing and social media, and she's also very skilled in relationships. I know personally. Say a little bit about yourself.
As Mark said, social media, marketing, fitness, that's my area. Those are my areas of expertise, and aside from that, I'm really ready to jump into the topic, today's topic. I know we talk a lot about relationships, and Ray, you've been involved in some of those discussions.
Yes. I've been like the fly on the wall in some of those discussions.
So to finally come together and really just hash out everything and get some other perspectives, I'm excited to do that.
Awesome. So, guys, as you know, again, just to remind you, make sure if you're checking us on YouTube, you subscribe and you hit that bell thingy right there so we can always give you updates and whenever we drop our new podcast. And, of course, we also want you to share the information. So make sure you're doing that. There's a lot of little goodies we have coming up as we progress with this podcast. So the success of this podcast actually allows us to do a lot more for our viewing fans worldwide. And we send out, so just to give you a backstory. So what we did was last week, we actually sent out a new, like kind of a group, it was a group text, WhatsApp thingy.
Yeah.
Just to get an idea of some of the questions that we should be answering or discussing, you know. And of course, that's one of the reasons we have the beautiful tea here. From a woman's perspective, we need her feedback, her input, and her viewpoint. So the question that we finally decided to do today was what?
Well, we decided to go with this question as far as what are the 5 deal breakers for breaking up in a relationship?
5. I mean, obviously it could be more, but we
top
just said
your top 5
so,
grounds.
So what were the top 5 you got? Let me see. What was your top 5?
Well, ladies first.
So what do you think the number one is? Let's talk about the main one that, in your opinion, because obviously it has to be your opinion,
right?
Because you're not a like God to all of this. So what would be?
I like to think of
your
myself
number
as one.
Right. What would be your number one?
Are
you starting from 5 down, or are we going from 1 to 5?
It doesn't matter.
All right.
It doesn't matter.
Well, for me, my number one deal breaker is definitely someone who's disrespectful.
Wow.
Someone, I've been in, of course, previous relationships before, and the disrespect, name calling, the curse words, all of that stuff, those less favorable titles and names to call females sometimes.
Let me ask you, when you say disrespectful personality or disrespectful are you talking about being disrespectful to you or just disrespectful in general? Because some people operate in that duality thing, where the person they're in love with is the safe zone, and then everybody else is up for grabs. You know what I mean? So who are we talking about here?
Well, first, it's important for me how the person treats me, right? Because I'm the person who will be around my guy most of the time, right? So I'm speaking from experience. I've been in relationships where guys have called me, bitch, hoe, slut, those things. You don't want to hear it. It's not uplifting, and I don't think it has any place in a relationship. And of course, it also matters to me how my guy speaks to other people, because I know that there is a time and a place for everything. So if the guy just walks around, chewing people out all the time, of course I wouldn't want to be with him. But if he needs to set somebody straight,
even if he's your shining armor in many things,
look,
even if he's the guy who brings home the bacon, this guy's an angel. Aside from that, he's a great guy. Are you telling me you're going to just hold him up to that one issue? He's arrogant, he's disrespectful at times, and throw away the other 90% of great qualities you could probably talk about with this guy. He's attentive.
I'll throw it away, because here's the thing. Respect, everything else falls under respect for me. Loyalty, honesty, all of those things. And if he's really attentive and he knows that I don't tolerate disrespect, then he's not going to do it. So you can't be attentive and know that I don't want to be called certain things and still be respectful. True. So respect is like the number one thing for me. If you respect me, I think that everything else will fall in line. So disrespect is definitely
no.
grounds for breaking up.
Man.
What about you guys? What does that
me, dishonesty, man. Dishonesty probably be my situation, because dishonesty robs me of the ability to know things that I should know. Because, for example, I understand where you come from with the disrespect thing, but sometimes that to me is something you can work on. But a dishonest person, you don't even know when they're honest with you.
But if someone is respectful toward you, then that honesty will fall in line with the respect. There's respect, and then there's everything else under.
Yeah, but you have people who you meet them all the time, and they have duality in personality. You know what I mean? Two things can be true at the same time when talking about one person. It's not even an either or, and that's why sometimes we operate in the gray, because it's not easy to settle on one decision why you should leave. Because while you're thinking about that one decision, you're still thinking about the other 90% of great qualities why you want to hang around. You see what I'm saying? Right. So it's not a black and white thing. But I get the expression of the overarching thing where you're saying, if that person is disrespectful to me, Ray, and to other people, I'm gone because of XYZ. But for me, honesty only stand out because, as I point out, man, if that person is even an actor, being that I'm in the movie business and in the acting bit, you get a dishonest person who's a great actor. You
plenty of those.
Listen, you are done. You are done before the race even start. the impromptu cry, tears. Listen, they're coming at you with everything, man. Weak in every emotional perspective you could have of them. They just take that away from you with acting. You know what I mean? Because she's gonna cry and kill. If you're in the car, she's gonna cry and kill.
Girls do that anyway. Just so that you guys.
For me personally, I think someone who's very negative. I can't be around somebody negative. I'm a person who's big on energies, and if their energy doesn't match mine, there's no future.
I think you got to define negative. What do you mean? Because someone
Debbie Downer, someone who doesn't believe, they let fear control their life. So someone who's constantly living in fear. I can't deal with that, because someone can have you can have a certain energy where you're feeling good, you get up, you feeling you got a good deal going, you just got some good news, and then somebody, their whole aura just comes around you, and it's like a dark cloud that just takes you over, and it's just like being with somebody like that is draining my energy.
So you don't think people can grow from that though?
They can. People can, but if
so is there a probationary period?
Yeah, there is. There's definitely. So, but if you see it, it's like you don't want to be around that 24/7.
All right. Let's look at it for how most relationship in general comes about, right? You're meeting the opposite sex, and they're selling their best side, right?
Yeah.
You're getting the best version of them for whatever period of time. Maybe it's the first 30 days, first 60 days. And then you're discovering those traits that you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, are you saying you'll use that to break up with them? Considering,
hold on. Also, let me know that there's no future with that person. So what happens is that if they find negative things in everything that we discuss, if the food wasn't great, or you take them out, you bought them some, you got them some piece of jewelry, but it wasn't really what they wanted. They always find the negative rather than the look for the positive. I can't be around that type of person.
I get what you're saying, player, but I think you're killing even the argument of why people go to church. It's to be redeemed and to save. And
some people can't be saved. It's just the truth. It's just the truth of the matter.
I just find I can see where that can be a deal breaker, but I think a lot of people will settle on the fact that she can be redeemed.
Some people.
I think maybe your life, the way you live, what you do, how you think. Can actually help to improve that person's way of thinking.
You can, but you can't save everybody.
Yeah, but you're not trying to save them at that point.
Yeah, so it's just like sometimes
you're just rubbing off on them.
Where they are in life, right? You know, sometimes you have to leave people where you find them. You can't, you can't go, because then you're just taking energy to bring them down. So I would definitely say negativity, honesty. I definitely want, there's no honesty, a nagger, a complainer who's constantly nagging and complaining, that's not gonna. Sexually competitive, definitely. If that's not there,
you mean if you're not sexually compatible?
Yeah, if we're not sexually compatible, that's probably not gonna be.
So that's another deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker.
That's a big.
And
what is sexual compatibility? You know, hold on. Before you even answer that, I think this is going to end up being a part 2 situation here, because Mark is dabbling in a whole different water right here that I can see becomes this big conversation. Sexual compatibility.
Yes.
I don't even know what that means.
Oh man, I can get into detail.
Give me an example.
But before you do that, because we know that's a completely separate topic, let me just list some of my other deal breakers. All right, so of course disrespect, complacency. I want someone who has ambition, someone who tries to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not for that. I like to.
I hear you just said something I want to chime in. When you mention ambition, I've often hear that, but I've given a lot of thought to this thing here, and I need you to clarify from a female perspective. Because I know of people, and I'm sure you know of people, who are very ambitious, right? But oftentimes ambition doesn't fall in line with timing.
Right.
For example, you believe in this guy or this person and what they represent and what they're working towards, right? You can clearly see how your life even intertwines with their world if the thing become true, right?
Right.
What if it doesn't happen in 12 months, 2 years, 3 years? But you're seeing the person work on it.
Well, it depends on...
Would you hang in there?
That are aligned. It depends on the progress that I see. If I see some sort of progression and that the person is really working toward the goal little by little, that's something that we can discuss.
Accept that. I can accept that.
With me, it's all about a partnership. So I will try to see how I can even help that person achieve his goals as well. Disrespect. What else did I say? Disrespect, complacency, trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Ambition.
Oh yeah, the ambition. And then one thing that I cannot deal with is someone who digs in their nose. I'm out. I can't deal with it.
Again, you're listening to Mark Ray Good Vibes podcast, and of course, make sure you like us on YouTube. Check us out on Instagram, Mark Ray Good Vibes, and of course, hit us up with your DM. We want to hear from you, right? We want to hear
absolutely.
as much feedback.
Yes,
Just
yes.
get your feedback, man. Just go in there.
Subscribe.
You subscribe, and definitely you will be hearing part 2 of this in a couple of weeks.
And Ray got away without giving his other 4, but just tune in and we'll make sure
yeah,
they
so
hear
that's
it.
what we're going to do. Yeah, part 2 we'll pick up on that.